Hey, what's up guys, it's Berserker here, and I know I said I'd post a weekly yap every Thursday, and I know I'm like 2 days late to that now, but in all fairness, I had my birthday just pass on this Thursday, so I wasn't able to get to that in time. Uh, I did a lot on my birthday, and I want to thank everyone that did wish me a happy birthday. Um, I had a great birthday this year, and yeah, as a little bit of compensation for being late on my weekly yap, I'm gonna go ahead and actually tackle two suggestions that you guys gave me in the last video, or in the video announcing this series, I should say. The first topic, if you couldn't already tell, was childhood games and memories, and I figured it'd be really fitting to play the most influential game to me of my childhood, which was Plants vs. Zombies. This was the very first game I ever got addicted to, and the very first game that I just kept coming back to, like, almost daily. And, yeah, what is there to say about this game, like, that hasn't already been said? It is such a great game, I love every bit of it. I figured why not, this would be the perfect opportunity to come back to it, revisit it, and give it a proper playthrough while I just yap about it to you guys. All that being said, yeah, this is just one of, like, many games that sparked my love and passion for gaming. I first played this back on like a computer that had, I think, Windows 95 at the time. It was very old school, a very old computer. I'm talking back when we had, like, you know, the really thick-ass keyboards and the mice with the ball in them. Like, if you guys remember those. I'm pretty sure those mice are older than some of you watching this video right now. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Anyways, yeah, I started gaming a long time ago, and gaming, I guess, didn't really stick with me, or, you know, stick as much to me as it did in my later years, until I got, you know, my own Xbox 360 at the time. That was my very first console that was mine and strictly mine, you know? And, the reason I settled on an Xbox 360 at the time was because one of my good friends that I had, you know, met from school at the time, he had an Xbox 360, and I still remember this. The very first game we ever played was Halo 3 Mythic, which, for those of you who don't know, is Halo 3 with all the multiplayer DLC, and is pretty much just Halo 3 multiplayer. So yeah, that was really fun. It's really cool to think that Halo was my first ever console game. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. It was my first ever Xbox game, and one of the few games to get me addicted to Xbox from there on in. But no, my very first console game, at least that I can remember, was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And yeah, I bet some of you, being as old as you are in my audience, that should be an instant throwback to you. I still remember, like, so many years ago, like, maybe, I'm talking like maybe 2006, 2007-ish, somewhere around there, whenever, you know, the PlayStation 3 was still in its prime. My youngest sister had a PlayStation 3, and we would just stay up on so many summer nights, just, you know, playing GTA San Andreas, and just screwing around in the story mode, you know, just using cheat codes, just trying to get, like, jetpacks and shit like that. It's just one of those things that you had to have been there for, you know? It's one of those things that, like, I don't know, man. You just had to be there. There's really no other way I could put it and do it proper justice. But, yeah, GTA San Andreas, that was the very first console game I ever touched, and one of the first I had a genuine amount of fun with. And then later on, sometime down the line, you know, not only did I get my Xbox 360, and not only did I get the version that came with, like, you know, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Forza Motorsport, but, you know, Halo 3 ODST was actually my very first story-based shooter game that I ever touched, and to this day is still one of, if not, like, my most favorite games of all time, just because of, like, how much of a deep connection it has for me, you know? Like, if it wasn't for Halo 3 ODST, I wouldn't have given many other story games a chance as much as I have, like, nowadays. And, heck, I probably wouldn't have gotten into gaming as much as I did. Because, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure Halo 3 ODST Firefight was like one of my first online experiences as well. You know, whenever Xbox Live, like Xbox Live Gold was in its prime, if you guys remember those days. Again, it was just one of those things that you had to be there for, you know what I mean? And then sometime shortly after, you know, I got done and over with my golden days era of Halo, I started getting into Gears of War, which, for those of you who don't know, was the game that has the character that I actually named, you know, this channel off of, and subsequently all of my accounts that I play with. I'm not gonna give you guys the headache of explaining what a berserker is. If you know, you know. But Gears of War, yeah, that's a game that means more to me than really anything, you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for Gears of War, I wouldn't have this channel name. I wouldn't have... I don't know how to describe it, you know? Gears of War is just one of those magical games for me as well. Like, the rich story of it was just... yeah, it was just that for me. Like, I started off with Gears of War 2, so I didn't actually know what the Berserker was until I ended up getting the first Gears of War game, which even that wasn't until like kind of later on. But the fact of the matter is, like, I played the first Gear or the second Gears of War game, ended up loving that a lot. Sometime down the line, got the first one. I was like, okay, let's see how this story started, you know. And then I got the first one, and then I played it for a little bit, and then getting a little bit into the story, I was like, oh, what the hell is this berserker creature? That's really fucking horrifying. And so I kind of made it my primary objective to get good at killing those things because of how intimidating they were. And then at some point or another, I kind of went through with the logic of, oh yeah, I kill you, I steal your title. That's how it works, right? At least I know that's how it works for, like, gods and stuff like that. At least I think so, anyways. But anyways, if you couldn't already tell, yeah, at some point down the line I got really good at killing them in-game. And so, yeah, I took their title, and I was planning on changing it to something more original, but I don't know, the name Berserker just kind of stuck with me, and that's, well, where we are today. That username is about half as old as me right now, which I think is crazy to think about. But, yeah, what more can I possibly say about Gears of War? I'm excited for Gears of War E-Day, the fact that we're finally getting a prequel after all this time as well. If you know me, you know exactly how much excitement I hold for the future of Gears, and the fact that it's been like, what, nearly 5 or 6 years since we've got a mainline game for Gears of War. But anyways, yeah, Gears of War was basically the thing that set my passion for gaming on fire. Like, no other game caught my attention nearly as much as Gears of War. And that's just something I will forever love the franchise about. Oh yeah, also, this is something I probably should have mentioned at the beginning of the video. Gotta give credit where credit's due, you know how it is. The suggestion for the topic of this video was made by Dom. I'll put his comment up right about here. So yeah, much love to him. Thank you for the suggestion. Hope to see more suggestions for you, or from you, especially Dom, because you're the one who inspired this whole goddamn series of me just sitting here yapping. And yeah, that's another thing I'm gonna do real quick. Shout out to Dom real quick. Yeah, go check out his channel. He makes content similar to this, and like I said, his content was the inspiration for this content. So I'd definitely appreciate it if you guys showed him some love as well. He definitely deserves it. He's also suggesting that I talk about some childhood memories. Let me think about some good childhood memories to yap about for a minute here. Let's talk Minecraft. You all know Minecraft, right? So, yeah, Minecraft. Don't think there's too much that needs to be said about Minecraft. You know how it is. It's like, I don't know, Minecraft, I feel like for a lot of people it was hit or miss. I know there was a period of time where literally everybody was playing it. But yeah, if you've been on the internet for any amount of time and you've seen any kind of Minecraft gameplay, you'll know exactly why it's addicting and why so many people just love the game. I did not mean to click out of the game. But you'll know why it's, you know, just so much of a fun game to play. I was considering playing it for this video, but I know if I wanted to do that, I'd also have to go out of my way to, like, you know, install mods and stuff like that, because, you know, I usually play with mods. I usually play with shaders and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I was like, if I'm gonna play, I'm gonna play with shaders, and I just felt like, I don't know, I had some stuff, a preset mod pack that I could play with, but I felt like there was some mods I had to reinstall or whatever, and I just felt like that was too much work for a nostalgia video, you know? But, you know, I ended up reinstalling Plants vs. Zombies, and, well, I find it more nostalgic. Because, you know, this game came out so much earlier than Minecraft did. But anyways, Minecraft. We've all played it at least once in our lives, right? It's one of those games that, well, you played, you know, over at your buddy's house, you played over at your friend's house. You know, maybe your brother had the game on his console, on his computer, whatever. I was kind of late to the bandwagon when it came to Minecraft. You know, I didn't start playing until, I think, version 1.20, or no, not 1.20, sorry. 1.2.5, that was the version I started on. You know, this was back when YouTubers like Sky Does Minecraft or Tobuscus were still in the works. And, yeah. It was a funny time to be alive during then, let me just say that. But, regardless, you know, Minecraft, even though I don't love it nearly as much as I used to, it's still a great game to come back to, of course. Especially if I'm doing a modded playthrough. Like, I'm sure, like, most of my adult friends can vouch for this when I say that we still have those spouts of, you know, just playing Minecraft for like 2 weeks, like us renting a server or something like that and just playing for like spans of like either 2 weeks or 2 months, just trying to, you know, just do whatever. Yeah, that's another thing I've been thinking about. I've been considering opening up another Minecraft server at some point or another, and maybe inviting some of y'all along to play, you know, with my community and friends and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be a fun time. I feel like that'd be something worth revisiting. So, yeah, it's something I'll definitely consider in the future. Yeah, no, the early days of Minecraft, like, have to be the most nostalgic for me. And again, if you've played Minecraft for any amount of time, if you've gotten into the game any amount whatsoever, you know exactly why. But yeah, Minecraft is responsible for a good amount of my childhood, and, like, I just have nothing but good things to say about the game. Aside from maybe the one time that it got me into a, I guess, physical altercation with one of my buddies. In the sense that, like, he was going out of his way to piss me and another one of my friends off, and he knew what he was doing. And we were all playing, you know, split screen on the Xbox 360 Minecraft, if you guys remember that, like, that being a thing for the period of time that it was. And good lord. You know, we were all playing creative, we were just trying to do our own thing. One of my buddies was curious to explore the Nether on Minecraft because he had never been to the Nether before. And again, we were playing creative, so, you know, it was easy to get to that point. It's just lighting the portal that was the struggle, because every time we tried to light the portal, this one friend ended up, like, breaking the portal every single time. He would intentionally go out of his way, far out of his way, to find where this portal was being placed and break it for the sake of breaking it. And so, after one too many times of doing that, I ended up snapping, and I may have beaten him over the head with my controller. And I know some of you are thinking, like, Berserker, what the fuck? And I don't blame you a single bit, but at the same time, I was like 11 or 12 at the time. Cut me some slack. I was still in middle school at this period of time. Well, it was either middle school or high school, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you know, that happened, and it took about a month, but, you know, I made amends with him. I apologized, and we're still on really good terms to this day. Hell, we even still hang out every now and again. But, yeah, so there was a interesting little memory for you guys. Oh yeah, shortly after, like, you know, I was done with the Gears of War phase and the Halo phase and the Minecraft phase. This was either shortly before or shortly after, but I started getting into Call of Duty more. I started playing, you know, or my very first Call of Duty title was Black Ops 1. Easily, like, the most reminiscent title for me. Like, I have nothing but good things to say about the game. It is just that good to me. You know, that's another game I have great memories with. Playing Kino der Toten Zombies, if you guys remember that. If you know, you know. It was a great game back then. Great time to be alive back when Call of Duty was in its golden era. Compared to the mediocre shit show that it is today. But, you know, I still play COD every now and again, and I'll still revisit older titles. Because, you know, I still love the older titles. Like, no matter what they come out with, no matter how they try to invent the wheel with these newer Call of Duty games, the older ones will always be my favorite, just because of the plain fact that, like, you know, they kept it simple. They didn't put all this complicated bullshit down our throat all that time ago. And that's a formula that worked. You know, I'm not gonna, like, pretend the newer Call of Duties aren't fun. Obviously, they do have their little moments where they're not as fun. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a game. It's either you enjoy it or you don't. And, you know, I'm an optimist. I always go into every game with an open mind. I try to enjoy it to the best of my ability, especially if I've bought it. And speaking of Call of Duty, I'll go ahead and get to what I was trying to say earlier and get into the point of this being a double feature episode. This suggestion comes in from Tiz Flint, so thank you for the suggestion. And that suggestion is skill-based matchmaking. What is it? If anyone has played the newer Call of Duties, you know exactly what this is, and you'll know why it's kind of crappy from time to time, not gonna lie. And in some cases, more than not, it makes the game unenjoyable, in my opinion, of course. Like, you know, if you can vibe with it, if you're fine with always playing with players around your same skill set, then, you know, more power to you. But, you know, sometimes I just want to log on and, you know, mindlessly do my own thing without worrying about getting destroyed every 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm 24 now. I still, you know, go out of my way to work. I still go out of my way to make money, pay bills, and stuff like that. So, whenever I get on after I get home, you know, I'm logging on to de-stress, not, you know, put myself in distress. Which, you know, sadly is still a thing that happens from time to time. That's another reason why I'm thankful to have a big variety of games that I do. And, you know, it makes it easier to flip-flop. Like, let me tell you, I have a library on Steam, like about... I think I have like 300 plus games on my Steam library alone. And I haven't even touched half of them. So maybe sometime soon I could start getting into those. Don't quote me on that, but it is something I'll definitely look into. I know I added one recently to my library that is also from a suggested comment. Not gonna spoil it just yet, but you know who you are. I say spoil it, even though people can literally just go over to the announcement video and they'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Oh well. Either way, yeah, that's a thing I'll do for the next video. Yeah, I guess while we're on the topic of childhood memories and all that kind of stuff, I'm kind of flip-flopping back and forth between the topics, don't mind me. But, and you guys probably saw this coming with what my channel is mostly dominated with. Geometry Dash. That is a game that has opened up so many windows for me. It is unbelievable. Or, I guess, doors, too. It's opened up so many opportunities for me, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, I started the game just playing casually on my phone, like, around the time that it came out. And, you know, I played it as a casual game at the time. I never expected anything to come of it. But, you know, playing it over time, getting as good as I did at the game, and, you know, enjoying myself playing the game and, you know, trying to become the best that I can be, has led me to meet so many great people, has led me to, you know, make so many great friends, and even some point down the line, you know, meet some of my idols that I took great inspiration from. Like, you know, if you would have told me, like, 7 or 8 years ago that I would have been friends with somebody who verified a top 1 at some point in time, aka Novel Boy, I would have laughed in your face. I would have thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And yet, here I am all this time later, and we're actually decent buddies. And I couldn't be more thankful that, you know, he's in my life, I'm in his. And, you know, he's a genuinely good guy to talk to. I know some people are like, oh, never meet your heroes or something like that, you know. And most of the time that's understandable, you know. They have lives to live to, and not everyone you meet in the creator space are going to be the nicest people. But, you know, the ones that are just make them all the more worth, you know, keeping around and talking to and whatnot. But, like, yeah, I'm incredibly grateful for all the friends and people I consider family nowadays that I've made through Geometry Dash. Like, it is unbelievable. amount of people that I've met through this game. With a lot of them, I don't know where I'd be without them now. Like, a lot of them, I even started considering family after some period of time. A lot of the players that I interact with nowadays, like, especially on a day-to-day basis, they're not just, you know, players to me. They're family. They're brothers to me. Like, they have helped me through so much that I wouldn't probably have not been able to help myself through. And, you know, that's just what makes them more cherishable to me. Anyways, all the sappy stuff aside, yeah, Geometry Dash kind of started out as a lot of my other games did, you know, just some game that, like, I didn't expect too much of at any point in time. And, you know, eventually turned into a game that, you know, I played daily, and I played for hours at a time, and it's something that I really, really loved. I say loved, I still love it. I still love it a lot. I still play it a lot. Even if I don't play it daily like I used to, I still love the game a lot, I promise. I guess back on the topic of, like, early childhood games, the first game I can recall myself ever owning, or playing, I shouldn't say owning. The first game I can ever recall myself playing was Pac-Man on an arcade machine. And again, it's just one of those things that you had to have been there for. Like, sadly, you know, arcade machines aren't as prevalent as they used to be. You know, sure, you'll see them at the occasional laundromat or whatever, and that's what I used to play them at. Long story short, the way I was exposed to those was, you know, my dad's a construction worker, you know, he works out of state a lot. And back then, when I was really, really little, like, he would bring me everywhere. Like, to all these different construction sites, to all these different job sites, whatever. And, you know, I'd usually just stay in his hotel room and chill and do my own thing or whatever. And, you know, whenever he would bring me to, like, say, a laundromat or something like that, if he had spare change or whatever, he would let me on the arcade machines, and, you know, I would just mindlessly play Pac-Man until, you know, he was done with his laundry and stuff. And until we had to go back to whatever apartment or hotel room we were staying in at the time. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than it was just a really simple time to be alive, you know? Like, if there's one thing I can confidently say that I miss about the old days, it's like, or it's that it was just a simpler time back then, you know? Didn't have as much responsibility as I do now. I don't, you know, or I didn't have all the bills that I have to pay now. You know, I was just chilling back then. And as much as I'd love to go back there, you know I can't. I have a ton of responsibility nowadays. And, you know, I just kind of got to suck it up and deal with it for the sake of, you know, making my future plans happen. Yeah, growing up, it's both a blessing and a curse. Like I said, if you know, you know. But yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to cut this video. I expected myself to come in with a lot more to yap about in all those regards. So yeah, there's really nothing else I can think to say in that regard. Childhood games and memories had some great ones of those. Skill-based matchmaking, it can make or break the game. That's realistically all I have to say about all that. And yeah, I think that's all I gotta say for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with me to the end of this video. If you're new to the channel and want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. And, yeah, leave your suggestions down in the comments below of what you would like to hear me yap about in the next video. Yeah, I'll be taking suggestions here, there, and everywhere. I might make a double feature like this if I'm late again for whatever reason. I might make a single feature if I'm actually on time next time. But either way, you know, I'm going to keep this series going for as long as I can think to keep it going. And, yeah, it's going to be a good time. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care now.